This is Novel Marketing, the show for novelists who aren't necessarily fond of marketing, but still want to become best-selling authors.
Episode 105.
I'm James L. Rupart, but you can call me Jim.
I'm Thomas Umstattd Jr.
And in this episode, we're going to talk about getting more sales for your books. And this is not going to be a theoretical talk. This is going to be very specific tactics that work, and they will work for you. And of course, the best place in the world to sell your books is where? Amazon. The statistics are a little mind-boggling. 75% of books sold are sold on Amazon. So 3 out of every 4 books sold is on Amazon. So getting an expert to talk about how to use Amazon to sell more books is obviously a critical part of your marketing program. So today we are going to talk with someone who is an expert at using Amazon to sell books, not only for other people's books, but for her own books. And so that's why we're really excited to have Lacy Williams as our guest today. Now, Lacy has been a friend of mine for years and years and years. She's a USA Today best-selling author, and she works in an environment where she's got 4 kids that she's taking care of. She's got this amazing husband, Luke, that she's very involved with. And someday when she confesses to me, yes, Jim, I did clone myself 4 times. That's how I get everything done. I will not be surprised in the least. So, Lacy, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you guys for hosting me. I'm really excited to be here.
Thomas and Lacy and some other of our masterminds. Lacy's in our mastermind group, and we were at dinner in Dallas recently here, and Thomas and I just started listening to Lacy talk about some of the things she's doing, some of the things she's accomplished, and I think we both looked at each other and said, oh my gosh, we got to have Lacy on the show right away. So Lacy, thanks for coming on so quickly.
Welcome.
So 3 out of 4 ebooks are sold on Amazon. It's not quite that much in paper, but what we wanted to talk to you about today is advertising on Amazon. And what's so cool about advertising on Amazon is that you're reaching people where they are, and they're already in a mode to buy, and good chance is that Amazon already has their credit card and they can buy with one click. So tell us, what are Amazon ads?
Sure. So as an indie author, it's really important to me to, sell books. And as more and more titles get published, it gets even harder and harder to get noticed. So Amazon ads have made a huge deal for me. So what Amazon ads are is there's 2 different kinds. There's the product display ads, and those show on people's Kindle devices when they're in the store function on their Kindle device. They also show on the book product pages on Amazon.com. So if you see the booked product page, there's the cover on the left-hand side, and then the description in the middle, and the price on the right side. And that ad is the one that shows on the right side just below the price box, which is like prime real estate for readers that are ready to buy. If they're not 100% sure they're going to buy that book, their eyes may travel down there, and they have opportunity to see your book there. The other kind of Amazon ad that you can buy is the sponsored product ads. And those show on the search results page. So when a reader goes to Amazon and they type in something in the search box, those search results pop up, and then it's possible that your ad will show right there. Then they also show a secondary location where they show up is on the book product page. So Amazon.com, on the actual book product page, there's a spot below. Let me go back a little bit. There's a spot beneath the book description where it shows also boughts. And those are books that other readers have bought who have also bought the same book. And right below those, there's another line of books, and they're called sponsored books related to this product. There's multiple places where readers can see your Amazon ads when they're on Amazon ready to shop for a book.
And so, Lacy, a lot of people are, they still have in their mind that, well, Facebook, that's where all my friends are. That's the place I should advertise books. Why is Amazon a better spot to do it?
So in marketing, a lot of times you hear them say, marketing gurus say it's all about location, location, location. And that's kind of how I view this, especially over the last year or so. I think a lot of readers are maybe not going to Facebook as much, or looking for more fun things on Facebook, as there's been a lot of different things that have gone viral that have been not super pleasant. I do have Facebook ads for a lot of my books, and what I have seen on those Facebook ads probably over the last 18 months is that they're getting a lot more expensive to get people to click on them. And for me, the Amazon ads, when people are already on Amazon, they are shopping for a book. So if they've typed something in the search bar, they're looking for something specific and they're ready to make a purchase. Or if they're on a book page, they are looking for something to purchase and they're ready to spend money. So these ads are really great for people also who are not looking for discount books or free books. These ads are great for people who are interested in buying a full price book and trying a new author that way.
I will say I recently got married and we registered on Amazon. We bought a lot of things on Amazon, registered for a lot of things on Amazon. And I will say those sponsored listings, we registered for so many sponsored products because it was right there at the top of the search results. And if it had good reviews, I was like, well, this must be a good product. And so I will say as a customer, I actually really found those sponsored listings helpful. I didn't always buy the sponsored item, but very often that led me down the right path. So, how do these ads work? If somebody's wanting to get started, what should they do to start experimenting with buying their own Amazon ads?
Sure. There are some really good resources out there. Readers can Google. There's a free course at the website called kindlepreneur.com. You could probably put that in the Google search box as well. It's a free online course that readers can take at their own pace, and it really takes you through step by step. The ads are really not hard to get into. So if you already have a Amazon KDP account, that's Kindle Direct Publishing account, you go into your main bookshelf and there's a little button that says promote and advertise. If you click on that, one of the options is to go to the Amazon ads. How they work is they are on a cost per click basis. So what that means is the impressions that you get are free. So you can actually get a lot of eyes on your book, but you're only paying for when people click on the book. So how deeper dive into how that works is when you create the ad, you input a list of keywords. And what you're doing is you're bidding against any other authors who are using those same keywords. So you might click, 25 cents for this keyword. You might click 50 cents. Just because you put in that amount, it doesn't mean that that's how much you're going to pay for each click. What I have found by doing a bunch of the ads for myself is that the cost per click was almost always lower than the amount that I put in there. And if you've done Facebook ads at all, you know that is, 25 cents, even 50 cents is a great cost per click to get somebody over to your book page, especially if they're ready to buy right now.
And this is primarily a tool for independently published authors. If you're making $2 or $3 a book, it makes sense to spend 50 cents a person to get them to your book page. If you're making 80 cents a book, it doesn't make sense to spend 50 cents a person unless every single person buys your book. So this is one of those things where it's an advantage to be an independently published author because it opens up the tool set or the tool bag for you in terms of advertising your book.
That's 100% true. I should have also said that the books that you can advertise are only books that you have listed through Amazon's KDP platform. So you can't make a list. I couldn't make a listing for one of my traditionally published books. There are other distributors out there who can get your books published on Amazon. You can't advertise those books through these ads. So these ads are only directed to books that you have on your Amazon KDP account.
All right. So what kind of money do people need to budget for Amazon ads?
The best way that I have heard and in my experience to do it is to do multiple ads with small daily budgets. So to do 3 or 4 ads for the same book, and they can even be identical ads. They can have the exact same text that you're using for your advertising copy. But to do multiple ads with around a $5 to $10 budget and probably around 500 keywords. Well, you can do as many keywords as you want. The more keywords that you have, the more opportunity there is to make a match when somebody is using the search function or typing in an author name or stuff like that.
Yeah, so the temptation is to put in the keyword romance, right? And you're like, I want everyone who's doing a search for romance to find my book. But the bidding for what's called a short head keyword like romance is going to be a lot higher. You may have to pay $1 or $1.50 a click because of how many other people are trying to buy that word. Whereas if you type in exciting romance or Amish romance or exciting Amish romance, the more specific that key phrase is, the fewer other authors are likely bidding on that key phrase, and the better of a match it is when you're trying to hit somebody in there.
Not only the expense, but it gives you more opportunity to meet the readers who are looking for your kind of book when you have narrower keywords. So I have some suggestions for keyword search terms if you guys want to hear those. Okay. So the first one is author names. And some great places where you can grab author names from are to go to your own Amazon author page. And you will see on the left side of that page, it's a little box that says, people who bought books by this author also liked these other authors. And it lists, I think, between 15 and 20 names there. That's a great start. And you can also click on those author names and see if their list on their author page is similar or if it has different authors that might still be a good, fit for your books. Another place you can go is go out to Goodreads, and there is a page on Goodreads where it lists other similar authors to you. So if you have a Goodreads author page set up, it will provide that list for you. You should use some descriptive keywords about your book. If it is Amish romance or Amish vampire romance or anything like that, you should use some of those, but realize that those might be a little more expensive. You also want to use book or series titles. So a great place to find those is by going to your books that are out on Amazon and look on the Also Bots page or the Also Bots listing, which is below the book description on your page. And usually there's multiple pages of that. So you can scroll through and see, the 15 other book titles that readers bought who bought your same books. Another great place to find book titles is publisher websites, and traditional publishers often list their books up on their website. Sometimes they'll have catalogs of upcoming titles that are coming out in the next 6 months or the next 1 year. So that's a great place to find those. And another one that someone else told me that I think is just a great idea is to actually use as a keyword different character names. So if there's another series in your genre that has a really popular character name, to put that in as one of your keywords, because apparently some readers actually search for those.
Right, and also it should go without saying you should buy your own book title and your own character names. So, because again, you're talking about advertising on other people's books. You could actually outrank for them. So if the Chronicles of Narnia aren't buying ads on the Chronicles of Narnia, and you're the only one who's buying ads on the phrase Chronicles of Narnia, you're outranking the actual book. On the flip side, you don't want someone to do that to you. So someone advertising on your book title, somebody's doing a search for that, going to you, to them instead of to you.
Hey, Lacy, can we get back to the money just for a minute? And what I mean by that is a lot of our listeners are independent authors, and they've spent this money getting a good cover design and spent the money doing an edit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you're saying it sounds like, oh my gosh, I still got to spend more money on this thing. And that's the reality. But it is not as much money as I think sometimes when people get into this, they go, you're kidding. I can do it for that little amount of money. So when you said $5, $10, I think some of our listeners' ears perked up and they thought, oh, wow, I don't have to spend thousands on this. So can you talk a little bit about, say, how much somebody might need to budget for a month period of time, and then talk a little bit about ROI, because I know some books will succeed better than others. It always comes back to the craft of the book. But talk to us a little bit about what people can expect.
Sure. So I always recommend to indie authors that as they are publishing their books and after they have covered, they've earned enough back to cover their production costs, that any profits that they are making, they should take a percentage of that and consider it a marketing budget. It's just a smart way to do business because you need to have a marketing budget to be able to sell more books. The return on the Amazon ads that I have seen, if you're doing it correctly, can be really good. And I don't have percentages for you, but let's say you had 4 people who clicked on your ad and you paid, 25 cents for each one of those clicks. And then one of those people bought your book. If your book is priced anywhere above $2.99, your royalty is going to be $2 or higher. which means you spent $1 on the ads to make one sale, but your revenue for the sale was above $2. So you made, more than $1 on that sale.
So what you're saying is there's basically a store that's selling $2 bills and you can buy them for $1. And so the question is, how many $2 bills do you want to buy for $1? And the answer is as many as possible.
Yeah.
And you do have to watch. Okay, so the ads are going to work the best if you have excellent ad copy or the text that you write on your ad. So you want to think about your specific reader and what is going to hook them the most, and that's what you want to put. It's a very short, it's one sentence that you get to put on the ad copy, so that has to be excellent. Not only that, but your cover and your blurb have to be excellent, and your price should be set at a good price, really, to make money off of these Amazon ads. I have tried it for free books, I have tried it for 99-cent books, and after running multiple ads, they really work better on a $2.99 or higher book. Okay, but then I also, talking about money and stuff, but there's also another benefit that you get from the ads. So you guys have probably talked at different times about the rankings on Amazon, right? And how those can get you higher visibility if you can get your book to a high enough ranking or a low enough ranking, because lower is better, where you're on one of the category bestseller lists, right? And how you do that is by getting steady sales over a period of time that are building. And so when you're using the Amazon ads and you're selling more books with the Amazon ads, the chances are you're also going to increase your visibility by having a better book rank. So you do get a monetary benefit from them, but you also get the benefit of more visibility as they're working for you. So it's kind of twofold.
And if you are a category bestseller, you get this really great bestseller badge next to your book title. Right. On Amazon. And I will say, again, basically everything in my house comes from Amazon. Very often I will see a sponsored listing right next to that bestseller badge because their advertisement helped them become a bestseller, and then it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because the other thing that happens is as they sit there at the top and they're getting all of these purchases, they're also getting lots of reviews. And somebody like me, I don't care about how many stars you have. I care about how many reviews you have. And if I see that you have 200 or 300 reviews, I'm much more likely to buy your product than if you have 20 or 30 reviews.
Now, there's probably an intimidation factor going on a little bit right now in people's minds, like, oh my gosh, there's a lot to learn here. And the reality is there is a lot to learn, but that's good news because the people that take time to do it are going to be rare, even the people listening to our podcast. And so, Lacy, I want to ask you about that. Talk to us about, there is a learning curve, but it's probably not as severe as most people think it would be.
There is a small learning curve. Amazon really tried hard to make this as easy for readers to get into as possible. So when you go in to make the ad, it's one page. And for anybody who's used to setting up a book on Amazon KDP, that's a 3-page process. So this is, it's easier than getting your book put up on Amazon. It does take you through step by step. For me, the hardest part is being able to craft the right ad copy to catch people's eye. And there is a learning curve on that as well. What the recommendation that I have heard for that and that I have done myself is to try 2 ads for the same book with different ad copy. So a type A and a type B, and find out which one is performing better, and then use that ad copy on future ads for that book. And this is the same thing as when you put out an indie book. If you find an error in it, you can go back and fix it. You don't have to leave the ad on. You can pause it, make some changes to it, and go back and fix it. It doesn't mean if you have one that isn't working that you just have to quit. You can try again.
And another thing related to that is your actual book page on Amazon also needs to be really strong. So just getting people to click to the book page is not enough to get them to purchase. They have to, between your cover and the back cover copy that's on that Amazon page, they need to be like, oh my gosh, I've got to read this book. And so good advertising is not going to fix bad marketing. So if you're not marketing your book well, if the messaging of the book isn't compelling, Amazon ads aren't going to fix that. And some people who have non-compelling books for whatever reason, either they have a bad cover or the copy is poorly written, they often are like, oh, Amazon advertising doesn't work, when in reality the problem is more systemic than that, and that the fact that Amazon advertising isn't working is actually a symptom of a deeper problem, that maybe their book is not a good fit for the market, that they're trying to reach, or they're not explaining why their book is a good fit for the market in a way that works for the readers.
But ultimately, Amazon is motivated to help you sell more books because that brings them more revenue, helps them take over the world faster. And so they really want to use this amazing data that they've collected to help you sell more books.
All right. So real quick before we go, Lacy, tell us where our listeners can find out more about you.
Sure. So talking about writing really good ad copy for your ads, if readers go to my website, TheSmartIndie.site, they can find a copywriting cheat sheet, sort of a handout that they can download. So that one may be helpful to them. And then also I wanted to make available to your readers a gift from me to them. If they text the word readers to the number 33444, they can get a free copy of my ebook. It's called The Smart Indie: How to Find Readers. So Amazon Ads is one great way to find readers, but there are other ways out there, and I just wanted to share that with your readers.
Yeah, so that's 33444. So it's 2 3s and 3 4s, and you text the word readers.
Well, thank you for that, Lacy. And real quick, let's just go back to the fact that, Lacy really is brilliant at teaching you how to do this, but she is also an author. So please also go to lacywilliams.net and you can take a look at, gosh, Lacy, you're like up at about 40 books, aren't you, at this point, written?
Yes, I'm working on my 41st one right now.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So lacywilliams.net, and that's where you can check out some of her fiction.
Thank you guys for hosting me. This was really fun getting to talk about Amazon ads.
You've been listening to the Novel Marketing Podcast with Thomas Umstead Jr. and James L. Rubart, giving you novel marketing ideas on how to promote yourself and your writing, online, offline, and everywhere in between. Thanks for listening.